Colleagues, I rise today in support of this bill and have chosen, as a member of my generation, to participate in this bill in this way because you already understand the ways in which I come into this conversation. We understand what the impact of this issue has been. I appreciate my co-prime sponsor for mentioning about asking which one, because my generation has been asking that question over and over and over and over again. But I'm going to ground us today in a story and experience I've had in the last 24 hours. This week marks the 25th anniversary of the Columbine High School shooting, of the massacre and murder of 13 people, including 12 students and 1 teacher. A day that we all understand changed Colorado history. And so I want to walk us through that day so that you know what you're voting on. On Tuesday, April 20th, 1999, it was senior ditch day at Columbine High School. At 11:19 a.m., 2 12th grade students dressed in trench coats, carrying duffel bags, began shooting fellow students outside of Columbine High School. They go into the cafeteria where they attempt to detonate homemade bombs in the cafeteria, but when their bombs don't go off, they take their second most lethal weapon out. And they begin shooting their fellow students. From the cafeteria, they move into the library. On the way, they're shooting at members of Columbine High School's community where they hit a teacher. And it's in the library where, according to the Denver Post, the day after the shooting, the gunman terrorized over 50 students with bullets. And I want you to remember what happened to those young people. Caio Velasquez was 16 years old. He was a big teddy bear. He suffered a stroke as a baby, leaving him mentally disabled, and his parents were prepared to spend the rest of their lives with him due to his disabilities. Disabled students, I know as a teacher, often struggle for social connection, and Caio loved computers. And he was sitting at a computer table in the library when the shooting began, and he was shot in the back of the head while hiding under that same computer. Isaiah Scholes, 18 years old, wanted to be a comedian. He dreamed of being a music executive, and after graduating, he wanted to attend an arts college. In fact, he played cornerback for the Columbine High School football team, but he quit the previous year because of possible racial intimidation. According to Todd, a 15-year-old sophomore in the Columbine Library who survived, he directly quotes the assailants as saying, "Oh my God, look at this black kid's brain. Awesome, man." Isaiah was the only black student killed during the Columbine shooting, and his brother was a freshman who ran away from the school and got away safely, and the next time he saw his brother was in a body bag. Cassie Bernal was 17 years old and a Christian, and in that same library, her unwavering faith transformed her into a martyr the instant after she was taunted by the gunman who asked her, "Do you believe in God?" She responded, "Yes, I do believe in God." And she was shot and killed. And the story of Dave Saunders is what breaks me, because now I am a teacher. Where Dave Saunders, along with 2 other school janitors, helped more than 100 students out of a path of danger by hurrying them away. He was shot in that hallway, and bleeding from 2 gunshot wounds, he came into the arm of computer tech teacher Rich Long into science room 3 doors down from the library, where 60 students cowered inside. Dave began to bleed out, where 2 students, Aaron Hansey and Kevin Starkey, attended to Sanders on the floor, staunching his wounds with their shirts, trying to keep him awake. Despite 911 instructions from a chemistry teacher in the room, despite a whiteboard placed on the window that was exposed that police departments have said that they have seen, that reads, "One bleeding to death, Dave Saunders, after saving more than 100 children, bled out over a 4-hour period in front of 60 children on a science classroom floor." I hope you feel what you feel right now, whether it be discomfort or scared or sick to your stomach. I hope we sit with this feeling today. Following the Columbine High School tragedy in April 1999, 850 KOA created the Never Forgotten Fund. The donations to the fund come with a pin that has 13 Columbines on it and has the words "Never Forgotten." The funds go to scholarships, each awarded in the name of a life lost at Columbine. And yesterday, I was walking back from the Cesar Chavez March, and I stopped in an antique store where I found one of these pins that I'm wearing today. We are at the point in this issue where the people of my generation are finding antique store pins about the worst school shooting to ever occur in Colorado history. I was 2 years old when the shooting at Columbine happened, and adults who were in this room swore that, like the pin said, you would never forget. Where families begged you to remember people, you swore that none of them would be forgotten. And so I did some research on how this legislature has attempted to remember the victims. In fact, in case you don't know, the day after the Columbine shooting on the 21st of April, 1999, this House was set to debate gun legislation that would have liberalized the concealed carry regulations in the state of Colorado because of the massacre. The work was canceled for the day and the bill was PI'd. 10 days later, this body in the House releases Joint Resolution 99-1058, where it quotes, "We must join together to search for answers to prevent tragedies such as this from happening again." And this body had the audacity to send it to every victim's family. 10 years after, on the 10th anniversary of Columbine, House Joint Resolution 09-1019 was read and successfully passed, where it quoted, "We have worked on legislation that was enacted to create an environment free of bullying." And again, we sent a copy to the family of every victim of the shooting. In 25 years, since the worst shooting ever to occur in a school in Colorado history where you felt sick to your stomach, we still allow the weapons used to massacre children in a library to be sold. We still allow our cultural infatuation with guns to permeate our lives at any moment. The massacre at Columbine was recognized as the deadliest and worst school shooting in U.S. history until it happened at an elementary school at Sandy Hook, where 26 children were killed in 2012. Until it happened again in Parkland in February 2018, and 17 students died on Valentine's Day. Until again, it happened in Uvalde in Texas, and 21 elementary school kids, including a little girl who wore green shoes, died because of proliferation of these weapons. I ask this body today, have you forgotten? I ask us if we're going to choose to forget again. If we have not, as I hope we haven't, I hope we let this feeling burrow deep down into our souls. Commit to what you as adults said you would do when this happened. Commit to what we as a legislature said that we would do in the last 25 years, where in 1999, we said we commit to beginning the dialogue to prevent violence in schools. And then in 2009, we commit to efforts that have been made throughout Colorado and the nation to understand how this tragedy happened and to prevent similar tragedies from occurring.
Representative, you have 50 seconds remaining.
I ask us to commit, colleagues, to never forgetting, as begged by community members, family members, and children themselves over 25 years and in every year since. I ask you never to forget about Kyle, about Isaiah, about Cassie, and about a teacher named Dave, so that this year we don't send a copy of a resolution intended to do about their tragedy what we intend to do, but that we can hand them a copy of this bill and prove to them that, in fact, we did not forget. I ask for an aye vote, and thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1292 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Speaker Pro Tem Degree Kennedy, how do you vote?
Yes.
Speaker Pro Tem Degree Kennedy votes yes. Representative Velasco, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Velasco votes yes. Representative Ortiz, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Ortiz votes yes. Representative Evans, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Evans votes no. Representative Soper, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Soper votes no. Representative Lynch, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Lynch votes no. Representative Bottoms, how do you vote?
No.
Representative Bottoms votes no. Representative Harrod, how do you vote?
Yes.
Representative Harrod votes yes. Please close the machine. With 35 aye, 27 no, and 3 excused, House Bill 1292 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Speaker Pro Tem Degree Kennedy, co-sponsors. Representative Harrod, co-sponsors. Please close the machine.